7 p.m. The meeting was posted on the door of the courthouse and was posted on our front page of our website on or about that same time. And the meeting is called in accordance with the Open Records Meeting Act of Chapter 551, Texas Government Code. Today we have one commissioner missing, Dr. Corey Young. He's out with his family on a well-deserved vacation. Everyone else is in attendance here today, along with Tammy Bird, our auditor. So recognizing that there's a quorum, I hereby call this meeting to order. It's not really on the agenda, but we can do the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer. Texas flag and all that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your chance to come here and do our county's business, and we pray that you give your guiding hand to what we do today and help the things that we do benefit our community. We pray, Lord, for our community, pray for the health and welfare of them. We pray for the folks that are working here in our county government that are ill and sick, that have been away for a while or haven't been for that matter, but those that are ill, we pray that you'd heal them, watch over them, and we'll give you the praise of the Lord in Christ's name. Amen. The first thing on our agenda this morning is to recognize anyone from the public that would like to come up and speak. And since we have 4 or 5 members from the public here this morning, I thought Ronnie sometimes comes up and speaks. No one has applied to speak, that's for sure. Recognizing that there's no one else, or no one actually that wants to speak, the first thing on our list is to discuss and take action on the following workshop for a proposed budget for the year 2026 to 2027. Is there a motion that we consider that?
So moved.
I have a motion to consider it. Is there a second? Second by Jim Jones. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Everyone said aye, including myself. That passes unanimously, with one person, as I mentioned before, Dr. Corey Young, not being here, absent today. Well, so for the benefit of, I think we have a couple of goals today, right, Tammy?
Yes.
Grab your mic there. One of our goals is to establish the pay increases that we're going to give or not allow for our public officials. That has to be posted by the end of this month. And so actually it has to be published in the newspaper by the
July 30th.
By the July the 30th. So that means that next week we have to get it in the paper, since the paper runs next week. So with that being said, Tammy, do you want to focus on that first, or would you rather go down the agenda and just kind of...
Yes, please, unless there's somebody else here that wants to talk about the other ones. If you want to do the fire marshal first or anything, because this discussion might get a little lengthy.
Oh, and
it's up to y'all.
Okay. Well, if we're going to talk about lengthy things, the Road and Bridge Department is probably the most important.
Yes.
The most lengthy one.
Okay.
And they are here.
Okay. Did everybody receive their email? I sent y'all an Excel spreadsheet and a PDF document. The PDF document is going to have the requested and the current county judge's proposed budget. Remember, all of this can change. Even when he files his proposed budget, it can still change after that with Commissioner's Court approval. But if you will look at the Excel spreadsheet, and in the email I told you right now, before payroll is entered and any kind of raises entered, we have, with projected revenues, we have about $500,000 we can work with. The zero raise on the Excel document, as you will see, will increase payroll by $197,423. That is in large due to insurance, but is also increases in workers' comp, unemployment, and a slight increase in retirement. So that is all the benefits there. 3% raise would increase it $359,424. A 4% raise would increase it $413,424, and a 5% raise would increase it $467,424. So that is without any other additions, changes to the payroll. So if you will scroll above that, you will see some of the change in personnel that was requested, but is not entered in any kind of a proposed budget yet. So you need to take those in consideration whenever you're looking at those other, whenever you're looking at the about $500,000 that we have to work with.
Oh, I see you're going with the fire marshal to establish whether the $30,000 that we've allowed for is enough. Is that
Well, that'll be y'all's decision.
Okay.
So right now I have it. We have 30,000 in there for the fire marshal, because that was what I had last written down on our notes. So yes, anything above that, like I said, has been requested. I feel like the fire marshal is probably definitely going to need to be added to that dollar figure, and but like I said, it's going to be up to y'all on salary.
okay? So on the salary increases, as Tim has pointed out, with the de minimis rate added in
Yes.
at approximately 500,000, there's around $467,000 that was going to be. $567,143 of room to cover salary increases, and then also to cover other things that haven't made it on the agenda, made it on our list of needs yet. So I think, so I guess we need to figure that since we have the decision for our own publication of what we are paying elected officials, that's kind of driving the ship right now and how we work towards the final number.
And keep this in mind, if y'all decide right now, approximately, we'll just say a 4% pay raise. If it is later determined that the county only wants to do a 3% pay raise, that is okay, because it's going to be below the anticipated increase. If the county comes back later and says a 5% pay raise, the elected officials can only receive up to 4% because that was publicized.
Better to go high and back off than the city, sure.
Right. The discussion prior to having this spreadsheet today was to shoot for a 3.5% raise this year. Just due to all the press push that we have on other outstanding items that need to be looked at.
I can get you a dollar figure real quick on 3.5 if you want me to.
Yeah, let's just kind of extrapolate. So it'd be about 375 or something like that. But as Jim just pointed out, you're going with 5%, and you can always back it off. We publish the 5, and
Yes.
when we get to the end of the story, then we can do what we want to.
It would increase at approximately 60,000. So that would be half the difference between a 3% raise and a 4% raise.
424 at 3.5.
It would at 3% to the 3.5 would increase it approximately $60,000.
So what are your thoughts, Jeremy? Lori?
Just for the preliminary, I think the 5% makes sense. I don't think there's any way on planet Earth we're going to go more than that. And obviously we can go back to 0 if we have to.
Okay.
I didn't hear a word you said. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said,
Turn your mic on because we do have people listening in.
I said, just like Jim mentioned, we can throw out the 5%, and we can always back off all the way back to 0 if we have to.
That's exactly, okay. I thought that's what you said. And I feel the same way. If you.
Would you turn your mic on too, please, Lori?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. You can set it high, but, of course, this being the very first meeting, you can always go down, but you can't never go back up. So I thought that was a good move.
Okay.
Right.
This would be a good
I
move.
will do that and get it, give you the information to publish in the paper, sir.
Okay. All right.
Now, I want to go ahead and start looking at some of the personnel requests that, like I said, is not included in the proposed budget yet.
Yeah, let's do that. Starting with the comp time.
Welcome back, Sheriff. Forgot what you look like.
I tried to find a way to stay.
All I have is a picture of a tree.
I didn't have any services in those pictures. Sorry.
I saw a video going down the road.
Where you stay.
Oh, you got more than I did.
Is everything that we're talking about now in the folder versus the email?
Right. It's
Yes, you will have documentation in your folder.
Yeah.
So if we're going to talk about the sheriff first.
well. Do we have? Yeah, we're going to talk about the money that we have that is on our balance sheet currently. It's parked there as a liability for comp time.
So we're talking current fiscal year now.
Could be current fiscal year
Okay.
or not. I guess it depends on if we have money to do that, right?
Yes. I'm working on projecting the ending fund balance, and that will also can hinder what direction we want to go.
Okay. But broadly speaking,
It's coming up right now.
when we met with Tammy, the consensus was that we were wanting to zero it out and go to more of a model where we're paying overtime to people and letting them have the benefit of what they're actually doing instead of having to bank it, push it down the road. It's essentially, there's other ways we can borrow money. Actually, there's cheaper ways we can borrow money than to do that. And I'll go over those things with you here in a minute, but without asking the employees to finance the organization is kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that before we?
First,
We're
you're
gonna
gonna
zero out the
get
comp
out
time
of
and go
it or
over.
not?
That's what we,
Yeah.
everyone, the whole organization would be
Yes.
overtime,
Yes.
no comp time.
I agree with that 100%.
I love it.
Yes, it would be a nightmare for HR to calculate this department this way, this department this way, this department this way, so that, even when we discussed it with Stacy, she said one or the other.
I agree.
So what's this? I was going to use spitball, but that doesn't sound really professional.
Are you gonna give us the pay?
What's a good number?
Yeah.
What's a very accurate, defined
The
number?
worksheet that I did a couple of months ago, I did all the projected payrolls and throughout the end of the year, including the accruals that we have to do. So, when you look at it, you see one number, but when I look at it, I see another number because I know that payroll accruals are coming. There would possibly be enough time to pay off, or enough in leftover payroll funding to pay off the comp balances.
It was like 100,000-ish.
Yeah, what is the?
Yeah, it was like 90 something.
I think that was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So people have accrued more than that in the last 2 months.
Yes.
That's-
But we've also probably had some open positions that aren't paid. It is a very complicated report to calculate out because the payroll system will give you the salary, but you have to calculate out all the benefits too. But the estimate that I did, we would have enough.
So we're going to call that 100,000.
Yes.
I'm looking at the one you sent me, on March 23rd, or
Okay, good.
through March 23rd.
Let me get that one here.
And it looks like it was $122,069.72 back then.
Okay.
I don't think that might be potentially a good idea, depending on the amount of overtime. The monetary value of that time would be by individual basis to push it. Pay half of it in 1 year and half of it in another, so that they don't take such a big hit and move them into a different tax bracket. That might be something
That is something to think about.
that we could do. In other words, we'd still reserve the money for it, but not necessarily expend it.
I just asked them
Let them
what they prefer.
decide how they want it paid out. But one way or the other, it'd just become a current obligation. That would be.
If you ask them what they prefer, you're going to get answers all over the board.
Yeah, you
So
are.
it just needs to be commissioner's court decision.
Right.
This is how we're going to do it.
Right,
Maybe,
'cause it's just a
maybe-
savings account.
Pay a lump sum then.
maybe put something that they have to take it by January 31st of 2027. So if they wanted to get it in 26, they could. And if they wanted to push it to 27, they could.
Only the sheriff can direct that. You cannot direct that.
Sheriff, you want to opine on that?
Well, I guess I need to understand, y'all want to give it the comp time and then try to figure out the best way to do it, or does it just put them in a situation when taxes take more money?
Right.
It'd be it'd be nice, it'd be kind of nice, because whoever takes that time off, we need to come up with a plan. I mean, some of them have no time, take it all at once, so then we just got encouraged for the whole month of this.
No, we're going to cash them out.
We're gonna cash them out.
Oh, okay.
We're just debating whether they want to cash it all out in this tax year or separated or.
We'd have to probably educate some of them on that a little bit, how it's actually going to affect that. I don't think most of them would understand how bad it's actually going to affect them on that. But I think that would be beneficial so they get more money.
Well, how does, would that cash them out, would they be considered overtime, no tax on overtime?
It
No,
would,
it's taxable.
It is taxable.
yeah, that
That's
gets cleared out when you file your taxes. It does not benefit you when you get the paycheck. It benefits you when you file your income tax return. That's when that part happens.
On the tips, overtime and all
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
Oh, is it tips free then? Is it considered
Tips.
tips?
No. It is,
On federal.
the
it's
payroll
income tax.
system will still take out the taxes on it.
Taxes. in the
They get the no taxes on overtime whenever they file their income tax
They'll get it
return.
So
Yes.
they'll get it back.
Other than probably should just get it this year then.
But how would we, comp time, would it be paid out as considered overtime?
Yes.
Okay, so when they file it, that shouldn't affect them too.
But it's only on a certain dollar amount. It only goes up to a certain dollar amount as
Okay.
well too.
I've never had a job that paid me every time.
But as a commissioner's court, you
First
can-
one, I'm anxious to get that
Yeah.
comp time.
But as a commissioner's court, you cannot order them to take comp time. The sheriff can order them to take comp time. But again, as we've been discussing, comp time breeds comp time. So
I'm
Let's just pay
not
it all
saying
together.
to order them to take comp time. I'm saying to say the payout could be through.
Break it up so tax on it.
yeah, if we break it out, so this is my question. If you want to pay it out, but we only pay half this calendar year, half this fiscal year, to keep it in the calendar year, and then we can pay out the other half in fiscal year 27 on a different calendar year, because since our fiscal year starts October, would you stop the earning of comp time then, and then start paying out overtime on October the 1st, even though they're going to have a comp balance, and then pay out the comp balance afterwards? Okay, we'll need to have a talk with Stacy on that to make for sure how that will work in the payroll system.
Looks like it'd probably be the simplest to stop comp time and pay them overtime October 1, period.
Yeah.
Just pay it all and stop it at the same time. That'd be the simplest.
Let's just do that. If they're gonna get it back when they file their tax return, that's not
Yeah.
that far off.
But like I said, it's only up to a certain dollar amount. I don't know that dollar amount off the top of my head, but like I
Just
said,
do it all October 1, pay them all their comp.
no, we'll pay them out of this fiscal year. We'll pay them out of this fiscal year, so we'll pay them by September 30th.
Back to school close.
So that way, this budget funds
This
the
budget ends
overtime
October
payout.
31st.
Yes. We start October 1st.
October 1st.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay.
And then from that date on, there's overtime. I haven't looked this morning. I was going to come by your office on you were the first day back.
Oh, yeah, I was catching up on.
Yeah, probably will be for a day or two. But have y'all prepared your? Didn't you prepare an overtime policy?
Yes, sir.
Have you presented it yet to me, or?
Gave it to Jeremy when we had this conversation, but I don't know if I sent it to you or not.
Yeah, I can't recall either.
It's pretty strict, so
Okay,
it'd be something that would be, of course, like anything else, you have to manage it.
all right.
I'm
And
going
then
to ask Stacy if she can come up here.
the second question that I have for you is, if we do this, right now, the jail is the primary source of all the comp time. So when we do this meaning, cash out these the comp time accounts, where does that leave the jail from the staffing standpoint? The reason why we have comp time, it's my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the reason why we have comp time in the jail is because we have vacation days, people get sick, they've got to run here, they've got to do this, they've got to do that.
So you got hospital stays, you got doctor visits, you got transports.
And you got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So in your budget that you presented, does that, I don't recall that budget really addressing either increased employee needs, if you will, or the financing of that arrangement through overtime. Do you recall if it did
Kevin
that?
and I talked about that, and I think with what we're trying to do with the manpower we have now, and it'll be better for the staff, is to be able to manage our people differently, to make sure we can make those things meet without having that extra stuff. We're looking at making little niches and approaches here to make sure that those both shifts are covered, transport's taken care of, hospital visits, all right. Hospital visits, inmate, these go room, that's just gonna happen. You can't plan for that. So we have to call somebody in if need be to go to the hospital with them. That's just one thing, you just can't plan for that. But there's some other things that I think we can do to manage it a little better and make it less.
Okay.
You're going to need more than 15,000 in overtime in the jail, though.
Well, we had 10,000 last year, and I don't think we spent a ton of that this year.
Well, that's because you've been selective.
And that's the same way will be with the new overtime as well. It's gonna be very selective.
But-
But
you're
you got
wanting
minimum
to-
manning that you have to have. That you just got to have. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, just like, there's nothing really about that.
But you're wanting to increase the jail by 55,000 to pay out the overtime. I mean, the deputies up 55,000, but yet this is my decades of opinion, you're going to need more than 15,000 to pay overtime out of the jail.
What do you think he needs in this?
Well, I thought, because I didn't know how this overtime thing was gonna happen. We put in the budgets on it, we talked about it throughout the year. I thought once, we sit down and talk about the conversation, the budgets, when we have that conversation, what the number looks like. Does that make sense? That's why I didn't put anything in there, because I didn't know if this was even going to be a real thing.
But
I would like to increase it to whatever you think,
yes.
based on your experience.
So if we're going to pay out overtime, I agree with the 55,000 increase in the sheriff, but I think the jail will need to go up to probably 40,000.
The jail's current comp time balance is 65,780, or this is a couple months ago.
Yes.
Was
They are half of the overtime liability right now.
for the whole county.
Yes.
Is that year to date?
No, that was in March.
No, but for the March, how far back does that comp time go in years?
So you don't know. For
Oh,
sure.
that was their current balance at
That
that
can go
time.
on for quite a while.
Yes.
It could have been a few years old.
Are you using deputies for jailers?
Also,
So they're jailers. So
yes, sir.
you could, and at some point there may be a point where overtime becomes
It'll
enough
be
that we can justify
002.
another position.
1109.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we'll have to look at and see. But like I think, this year, what I like is make some
You should go to
changes.
50,000.
See where you're
40.
at.
Yes,
I
sir.
think it
But
needs
no
to be
telling what it's
40.
gonna be like.
Exactly. I don't know what's in there.
But maybe next year it'd be cheaper to add somebody.
We'll have a better idea when we
Good.
set.
Well, I know overtime's better than comp, because comp time, like in the fire department,
Stacy's
if
on
you
the
have
way
it, you
too.
can't use it.
The
then
last
it-
digits
that's
are
not fair.
50120.
And they can't use it where they want it, so
And it's easier to get somebody to come and cover shifts
when you're paying them overtime,
They're
yes,
8
sir,
minutes apart.
that's what we
They're
discussed.
coming 8 minutes apart. Just FYI.
The last digits are 50120, and that is the overtime line item.
Okay.
So it was that in June.
All right.
Yes. Let me get it. Let me put that in the calculation real quick. So,
I'm assuming the grant folks. would be good.
Christie, was you getting the grant, would say be her for doing it.
There it is right there. So we're gonna go from,
from 15 to 40.
That's the only way I can keep up with it.
Be a good Christie question.
well, oh, this is for deputies. I don't have the jail.
And then question.
You've got it in a separate folder, I saw it.
We need to discuss is on these like ADA grant for construction with the library.
Uh-huh.
So that would be an additional,
Who's gonna actually
oh, sorry, Jim.
see the construction?
Okay, so that would be an additional 25,000 added to
Shane,
the
that's-
proposed, so it'll be a total of 29,473 with benefits.
Where did you see the jail at?
Oh, maybe I saw jail over here.
Yeah.
You got it over here then, sorry.
Yes. These are my good folders. These are the ones that are kind of yucky folders.
It's gonna be, yep, that one.
And it's such a kidder. You have stuff.
All right, so that's good. That'll address that problem. Well, that concern, not a problem.
Okay,
And then we have,
so do you want to discuss the rest of the items between the sheriff and the jail department?
sure, let's do it.
Okay. On the sheriff's department, he's asked for an increase in step pay as people are getting more certificates. I do agree with that increase. It's needed because they have really been encouraging, people to get certifications. So, he has asked for a records clerk. So again, but to back up, I am good with the 55 additional for overtime for the sheriff. The records clerk, who's asking for a records clerk. You will have some, again, details in your folder on that. You're going to have some additional information back behind there about his individual request. Sheriff, do you want to talk about the records clerk you're requesting?
Got any questions first before I start talking about it?
Well, as I understand, the record clerk is going to be someone that helps make sure that we comply with all the Brady laws.
Well, Brady laws dealt with court murders requests, and we get inundated daily with those. But right now, all our cases have to be uploaded to LGS, and Chief Deputy Holmes have to do most of that work on top of all the responsibilities. So we would like to change that to where records clerks that we will train to do that for us, and that will take the load off that situation in our CID people so they can focus on their cases and other job descriptions that they have.
And I'm, just for the record, I'm actually in favor of it from a judicial standpoint. We have, Rains County has the highest duty that we have is complying with our Michael Morton Brady laws. And the DA's office is like hyper-focused. Everyone's always hyper-focused on it, but if we don't do it, it's a violation of the law and it just kicks out cases. And so what I like most about having a person is this person wouldn't be a TCO certified person. So what I like about the fact that I'm not TCO certified is it creates a little bit more, I view that maybe this is just a misconception on my part, and you can agree or disagree if you want to, Sheriff, but I see it as a way as a more solid thing that we can count on as a government entity, in the sense that, you know, we know that there's a competitiveness out there for TCO certified law enforcement officials. You know, even like with Mr. Holman, you know, he'll be checking out in October, right? So the lack of consistency in the application of Michael Morton Brady in and of itself, and also the Record Meeting Act, which we're also required by law to go do, to me just begs for, you know, someone that could come into the sheriff's department and consistently be there time and time again. You'd be trained and educated at one time in hopes that they'll stick around for a while. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't talked about that, but that was something that,
No, it's just all the unfunded mandates that we're put on us. It don't matter if you're small Orange County or big Lubbock County or whatever it is. The same laws still apply to us. The difference is that the bigger counties have more resources, more financial support to support those positions to help mandate and meet those mandates. We don't have that here, so we're giving it to people who have a lot of big responsibilities already to try to get those. Well, when you have a list that long, you're only get 25% of each situation that you're dealing with. You're never going to play any of that forward until we get that focused on one position, so focused on that. That was the entry of that problem.
okay, where would they be sitting at?
That I don't know yet, but we will find a place if we get it first.
Somewhere preferably where the law enforcement people are, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The dollar amount you're asking for is $19.71 an hour. With,
I put $20 an hour on it. I got the form right here.
oh, hold on. I put in the wrong amount. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, $20. Which, I mean, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that that is more than what the average clerks make currently with no pay raise.
Will the average clerk do the same responsibilities as what this person did?
No, I'm not questioning. I'm just telling them the dollar amount.
So how does everyone feel about that?
I would think it's almost a no-brainer. They've been talking about it forever. I've seen and I think it kind of pays to be not in the law enforcement business, to hang out with law enforcement and see what they have to do. It's not just going and arresting somebody. All the paperwork that comes afterwards. I can't imagine trying to do it with a chief deputy, you know, overseeing all that. So it's a no-brainer to me. I just wonder, you think you can find somebody for $20 an hour?
I hope so.
So they don't need any law enforcement experience. They just need to be organized and,
They need to be trained.
Yeah.
Attention to detail and follow instructions.
But they have to be able to pass the background check in a sense too. They're going to be exposed to criminal histories, and they got these CJIS certified, right? So we just can't hire anybody. We have to have somebody with high moral character. Obviously, that's what we want for every position, but they have to be certified in some sense. Not TCO certified, but they're seeing sensitive information.
Because they are a clerk, I think we're going to have, I think there'll be some problems at $20 an hour, because all of our clerks are not at $20 an hour. We just had a problem in the clerk's office of hiring a girl that was gonna sit in court, needs to know all these things, and, they couldn't hire her, not even at 18. So everybody's important. I don't know. That's a hard one. Hiring somebody right off the street for $20 an hour when our other clerks don't make that.
well, if one of our clerks wants to go do it, they could go do it. It would be
If
An
we had
addition-
Duncan
A
and-
lateral transfer.
That's true, but
they can go be a deputy if they want to.
they sure could.
But I mean, they can transfer to that clerk and we'll hire somebody back behind them if they'd rather. Because they've already,
Absolutely.
yeah, they're already part of the city or the county, so lateral transfer would be okay.
I mean, the word clerk, why did you even choose that word as a clerk?
I did,
Oh, okay.
the records clerk is what's known in the law.
Yeah, okay.
As far as the county side of it, I don't,
Law enforcement prefers it that
Well,
way.
she will be a record keeper, right?
know. She'll be someone who puts all her cases together and uploads to the DA's office.
Who
We have-
does that now?
We have people in the DA's office that we're paying far more than that to essentially go through and do that same thing, right?
Absolutely, a lot more.
So, and they're, now granted, they're TICO certified
Absolutely, and they got experience.
and they have experience, so that makes a difference,
But that's apples and oranges. We just need
It
somebody.
is, yeah, just like,
We just need somebody to get yours together for us.
That's right.
I was bouncing it around in my head like, how can I, do you have someone else?
She needs a more important name.
That's a
than-
good point, though. I mean, $20 an hour, that's a good price. If they want to move over and get it.
That's really kind of the official title, though.
I know, but
Yeah, records clerk.
Yeah, you could open it to anybody in the county first. But they're already on payroll. That'd be easy.
And there's been talk that the person that had now, admin assistant, she may take over the responsibility, and the new person handles all of our because we don't know yet. We're still trying to see what she feels like she'd be comfortable with, but she's very attention to detail, and for everybody like her, it's very anal about things. So that's what I like about that.
Well, it needs to be someone with a stern way about them, because getting people to turn things in.
And then something else I want to say, it's not the Morton Brady Act. This is a conversation about Texas. It's not just Reigns County. Every agency does the same thing. 3914, where the defense attorneys can do their thing and get cases kicked out for them to court. That's just part of their process. We went to a meeting last year about that, and the Texas attorneys trying to fight that because it could be anything. It could be simple as a piece of paper. They thank you. I said, no, you don't turn it in. It will be related to the case.
The
They see
911 call
that-
where it came in.
Exactly. It could be anything.
Yeah.
That can get that case going. So this is a conversation that's bigger than the Reigns County.
And it's not just, it's whether, and it's required to be submitted whether you think it's needed or not.
Absolutely.
So that makes it rather nebulous.
Yes.
So essentially it means everything and then everything over again.
If we're in the lobby talking about a case and it's recorded, that should be sent as well.
Mhm. Right.
So how do you keep with all those details up to date? Hey, what about that case? You just asked right out there, where are you at on this case? Well, that should be submitted. But do you think about that when you have that conversation with them? Right?
Yeah.
So those are things we're talking about.
And I is currently doing the public information requests.
Yes. And a lot of other responsibilities.
Are those going up or down right now?
I have not seen a decrease in those.
Okay.
If you look at his office revenue line item, you will see a large jump in his office revenue, and it is due to open item requests and stuff.
That's nice.
Am I right?
We've got together since April's been here. We got started getting payment form to make the request that they're used to.
And you don't know nothing about electricity. What are you doing messing with?
Okay. Well, I'm good with putting it in there. So if everyone else is, I'm good.
And I don't know if you know these numbers off the fly, but like how many cases got turned down, not turned down, I don't know, rejected. I mean, it's a majority of the cases, right?
I don't want to say that, because I wouldn't say majority. I'm just, my only thing is, we've got a lot of effort into these cases. And to have, one, not be prosecuted from a lack of anything really, the resources to prosecute it, or the resources to put it together, or officers on the street, whatever. So I wouldn't say majority.
They're not really being rejected. They just haven't been,
trained.
they haven't been charged yet or prosecuted.
So the clock's ticking though, right?
But the clock's ticking. They have time to prosecute those. So like, I think we have 50 cases that are currently, we've talked about this before, we have 50 cases since March the 1st. I think you told me, Sheriff, approximately. It could have changed, but because I know Mr. Bento said that he's pushing some of those through now. But the time that it takes to go through and look at all the evidence has just changed the way the approach to the DA's office, and obviously with the Sheriff's Department, it all runs up and downhill. So that's where having well-documented cases comes into play that have been reviewed and looked at by CID or someone that's skillfully knowledgeable from a law enforcement perspective and also from a records perspective, making sure it gets submitted.
To the average citizen of Rains County, I guess the way I would look at it is, there's a bad guy, they catch him. This position will help that person be prosecuted, more likely prosecuted.
I can't promise that, but I promise you, when Almond puts his cases up there, he makes sure everything's there the best he can with what resources we have. But I can't promise you it's going to make it more fluid, more efficient.
Mhm.
That's something I can promise. As far as prosecution, I can't make no promises.
Yeah.
It won't affect the quality of what's turned in, it'll affect the quantity.
Yes, sir.
So, in the bottom, like right now, as far as cases from y'all, the DA, the judge, what's the bottleneck? Are y'all out in front of them, or are they behind you, or are they out in front of you?
I don't know. I know the system, it took a learning curve for us to get there. And we had to figure some things out along the way, like uploading pictures was a problem because the system allows us to upload so many pictures. It looked like on our end that the pictures were uploaded, but once it got to the DA's office, they weren't there. So we had to call them and figure out what's going on. So it's always, anytime you go to software, there's a problem, right? So that was some of the problems. I think it's really just working things out.
It's the felony. It's kind of a holistic problem.
Yeah.
There's
I think
felony
just-
cases that the
As
DA's
long as
office
it's
is.
communication,
I
DA's
just
office.
wonder if the DA's office needed more help to keep up with you, since you increase this and get more over, are they gonna need more help to get theirs?
You'll see later on we've added a position for a part-time
Yeah,
position.
but
in
I
the
think
DA's
honestly,
office.
I think as long as we keep good communication between both sides, and working towards the same goal is the main concern. And I think we've done a fair job.
So y'all want to add that position in the proposed budget right now?
So what does that amount to with the benefits?
62,241. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that takes care of all the requests in the sheriff's department. So,
Well, they had one other request for the $3 an hour.
oh, that's in the jail.
Oh, that's the jump. Sorry.
Okay, so in the jail, they have asked, they have 10 basic jailers.
Oh, I see it right there. 60.
Yeah.
Read your notes, Brent.
10 basic jailers are asking for a $3 an hour increase for them. They have 4 sergeants asking for a $4 hour increase for them, and 2 lieutenants and requesting a $5 an hour increase for those 2. So I have each line with the totals on there for each of the positions. There is no extra funds in the salary grant. It is all taken care of, covered. When we can sit and order equipment at the end of the year, that's when, somebody hasn't been paid. So, but as far as if you look at the booking of it, it is pretty much 100% budgeted for right now.
So you're saying SB 22, there's no money left in that at all?
Correct. Budgeted, so like I said, we have to wait till the end of the year for people that have been out of pocket, but there's,
Budgeted, not necessarily spent,
right.
but budgeted.
Christy and I got to get together. And
So you're saying
you
that
can buy right now. So
the SB 22 money is fully allocated to salaries.
yes,
And that's including the interest again too?
the interest will not cover any
No,
of
I'm
that.
talking about totality. You're saying it's all budgeted for, like it's all about.
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure that.
It is all budgeted for with the salaries as they currently were at the end of even the end of last year. Whenever you gave the deputies increases with that, it covered that. So you don't have available budget to cover any of these in the salary grant.
Any of these
Was the
increases.
position that was paid for out of 100% of the Senate money?
Sorry?
For Jerry's position used to be here?
We have a deputy in there 100% right now.
Does that match what
Do
you're
you know who
thinking?
that is, Stacy, off the top of your head?
No.
Okay.
Does that match what you're thinking?
No, but I can do some more research first.
Okay. And the reason that position is budgeted 100% because it was created the year that we got the grant money in. So that's why that position is 100%
I thought that
funded.
was created for another person.
Well, I mean,
That was a year later.
that's where that person kind of got assigned, but the actual deputy position was created the year that we received the grant money, so that's why that position is paid for 100% out of the grant. So
What do jailers make now?
Does that match your thinking, Christy?
I think, we have not talked, but the last time you sent me your report, my match is a little off from yours. I was thinking, we would have, based on what the report was in February, we would have some.
we would have some money left over, but unless you're going, but it's not guaranteed it's going to be left over every year.
Yeah, I
See
think
what
the
I'm saying?
conversation is two things. One, I'm going to spend $100,000 a year on food. So I can spend $100,000 a year on food. But this year I've only spent $75,000 so far on food. So at the end of the year I'm going to have $25,000 left over. So what she's saying is that we have the funding for the SB 22 money. I'm asking this as a question. We've allocated $375,000. What is it?
Yes.
375, 350, whatever the number, 350 for SB 22 money to go to be fully applied to salaries. But if people leave or they're not here to grab the match
Yeah.
on the actual map, okay.
But you can, like you said, 100,000 you budget, you only spend 75, but this next year you may go ahead and spend the whole
Spend your
100,000.
right.
So you,
So
But I just don't, we're on different pages on the actual map. I think we have not budgeted for all of it.
well, let's get together on that. We can
Yeah,
just
we will.
we can put mouse and minus together and make sure there's apples and apples. It will equal what it equals.
okay, so we can come
Yeah,
back to
someone
that.
asked what a jailer makes. The jailer,
Do you know off the top of your head, Stacy, what a jailer makes?
If they're not licensed, it's $16.30. And then when they get licensed, they get an additional $3.23, I think.
$16.30 an hour.
If they're not licensed.
So they're going, yeah.
If they are licensed, it's another $3 and how much? 23 cents with the SB 22.
Yeah.
And do they get stipends?
They have step pay and certificate pay.
And step pays like $1,500 or
What
whatever.
about sergeants?
It's not much.
They make the same amount of money right now.
Well, if they've been here longer, they don't.
Sure.
So their base pay right now is what, sergeants? You don't know? I don't know.
Depends on years of service.
Yeah.
If they've been here less than a year and they have a certificates, they're making the same amount needed to.
So the lowest would be, but who's, I'm not gonna say who, but what's the lowest pay of a sergeant right now?
The sergeants make the same as regular jailers. They don't make any more money.
$16.30
Yeah.
Yeah.
or $19.50?
Well, they're licensed, so they'll be making
Yeah.
19, whatever. it is.
$19.50.
The 16 and change comes out of county. The $3 and change comes out of the Senate bill money.
So these
And then the
$3, $4, and
two
$5
lieutenants.
raises are to get step differences between them, make it worth.
I let Captain Cavis work this budget on what he thought was beneficial for his agency. And I'd like him to be here to talk about that as a district court right now. So the next day, but I'd like him to.
Well, it makes sense if you got ranked and you earned it, it should be a separation
More
of pay, or why
responsibility.
take it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep. Is there, what's the lieutenants? Are they at $19.53 too?
Depends on what years of service they are at. As far as their step pay and
But if they left and we were going to rehire someone else, they'd be at $16 an hour.
absolutely.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
But obviously they would be, well, not 253 because they're going to be
Once they
certified.
get the license, just
And so Kevin, he's working
part-time.
all the time. How much does he get per hour?
I think he makes, that's a guess, 48,000 a year.
Which is the 19 an hour?
No, it's a little more.
No, it's
Okay.
more than that.
That's a lot of responsibility.
He probably makes about $23 an hour.
Okay.
You don't do anything.
Okay. Christy and I can get together and work that out. We can come back and visit that.
Just generally speaking, I'd like to just get a gut feel for how people feel about this, because the story's not over yet. So there's a lot of
You're talking about the raises?
the step pay idea that Jeremy's put forward. Is how do we, what are we thinking here?
I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to do it. I think all these talks kind of give us an idea of, what we might want to do, what we have to do. And then is it July 31st when Sherry has to give us the real numbers?
Yes, Sherry and I will be sending you down either the 30th or the 31st to do the calculations.
So basically after the 31st, then we can plug in our tax rate and see
Yes.
how many dollars we have, and then kind of back out our wish list of.
Right now, this is already backed out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, none of this on this page is included in the proposed budget yet.
Right.
The pay raises discussed, the $3, the $4, and the $5 comes up to a little over 147,000 together.
Kind of like the 5% conversation earlier. I mean, we can throw it in there for now.
Okay.
And once we have our original income, it'd be, I don't know. Once again, I spend a lot of time in the dispatch office and not too much time in the jail, but
Not yet, anyway.
I have seen the jailers. I haven't seen it. I understand what they do. And by golly, if you want to give up your desk job and go be a jailer, like, come on, we got openings.
well, they're cussed out, they're spit on. I'm not sure about spit on, but
It happens.